to make money.
How to make money.
Yes.
Hey,
show me the money.
economy goes up, economy goes down.
We all making money each way.
Each way, baby. Each way.
Look, we're gonna be shooting some stuff. They're gonna be able to see it behind the scenes. Where can they find it? How, if they want to watch the full thing, because it's gonna be fully edited. We're not playing around. Look, we got an engineer here behind the scenes.
Vic is the man.
Vic is the man. And so where can they find it? How can they find you?
This is all going to be on Brokers Playbook on YouTube. It's also going to be on all Brokers Playbook website, and the audio will be on all podcasting platforms. So anywhere Brokers Playbook, all social platforms, as well, of course, YouTube.
We're going big. So I'm going to let you guys just kind of be behind the scenes here. I got my little tripod here. Let me see. Hopefully you guys can see it. There we go. All right. Woo!
Don't go too far. Okay.
Right here?
Once you set them,
Is this water for
This
me?
is yours, yeah.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Investors Playbook. I love the name.
You got it. So Investors Playbook is a sister brand
Yeah.
to Brokers Playbook.
Nice.
Brokers Playbook will be feeding into Investors Playbook and vice versa. So
Nice.
the best of the Brokers Playbook, screened, due diligence complete, factual pro forma inventory feeds into Investors Playbook. Investors go in and they're working with only the people responsible for the inventory. No middlemen, no nonsense.
Love it.
Full disclosure paperwork,
Yeah.
or else you can't be on there.
Yeah.
So the investor will get actual clean
I love it.
opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. The big part of my audience is the investors, you know, from
For sure.
from all across Canada.
For sure. So just for a quick setup, this camera here is on me. That camera right there
Yeah.
is specifically on you.
Yeah.
And then there's a third, I believe.
So 1, 2,
Three.
3.
So this is Alfonso, that's me, and that's the extra.
That's gonna be wide. If you guys ever want to maybe talk to the audience once in a while, come to here. But really and truly, that's your camera. So if you ever want to like hit on a point, look to that. Well,
So-
don't worry,
so
we'll get
we're
into that.
speaking-
Yeah.
So we're speaking, but if you want to make a point directly to the investor community,
Yeah.
so just like, so I'm going to be like, do you see the point that he's making right there? Because I'm speaking now to our audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm speaking to you, but if I want to single something out or I found something of great value, I'm going to speak directly to the audience. Just pay attention.
Yeah. Good.
And you're going to do the exact same. So if you want to drive a point home further above and beyond our conversation,
Yeah.
bang.
Take action. So
Factually correct.
while we're setting up, you know, maybe you could talk about a little bit of the history of REC and kind of, you know, all the different partnerships, you know, for my camera here.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Simeon, and I've been in real estate for just going on to 16 years. And myself and my partner Jazz,
Yeah.
who many know just from all the stuff he does.
Yeah.
Jazz has been my partner for 15 years,
Wow.
literally a year after I got into the business.
So you guys were both 15.
basically 12. I wish. But yeah, like he actually just literally turned 40. Funny enough.
Wow.
I just turned 42. I think we're just a year and a half apart,
Nice,
or
nice,
whatever that
nice.
is, the difference. And we've been at this since our mid-20s, man.
Wow.
So he was in car sales before, newspapers and shoe sales before that. And, he just,
You know what I love? Like all successful people have that beginning, right? It's like they got into sales door to door or some sort of sales that kind of like helped them understand the business, like the sales, and then later on leverage it to
for
other
me, it's
things.
100% emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Because once you start winning over people, because sales is nothing but a value proposition translated into fulfilling a need.
Yeah.
So you have a problem, I have the solution. That's my value proposition.
Yeah.
But how does that layer over you? Because like you could buy a Mercedes or a Beamer,
Yeah.
both are going to do the job.
Yeah.
But which one is going to resonate with you has a lot to do with the person that's going to pitch it to you.
Yeah.
So do you like smooth lines or do you like aggressive lines?
Yeah.
There is your answer.
Yeah.
But it could be a million different things.
Yeah.
So
Did
again,
you do car sales as well?
I never did car
Okay.
sales. So I was in the hospitality industry. My family owned restaurants. I opened restaurants. After I studied accounting and financial management, I finished that up at Ryerson. Without a university degree because they required 300 hours of work for free, and that's not something I could afford. So I'm not certified alumni of Ryerson, but that's where I attended and I finished my program.
Yeah.
I went straight to the banking sector, where I managed small business portfolio and receivables.
Yeah.
So I worked for both a contingency company, which is a fancy name for a collection agency. So prior to default, Alfonso Quadra ran a hardware store.
Yeah.
The hardware store saw 2 tough months. 4 payments behind. 4 payments behind, you start to speak with Simeon. Simeon's going to ask you a series of questions.
Yeah.
Do we need to take your debt, repackage it, consolidate it, get it into a loan that you can actually manage?
Yeah.
Do you need a consumer proposal? Do you need bankruptcy, insolvency
Yeah,
protection?
yeah, yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Or my partner died, or
Yeah,
whatever, all
yeah,
the things that happen in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I saw was 80% of the people who would come out of this alive and then go on to thrive were able to only do it by leveraging other assets, aka their real estate,
Yeah.
to consolidate onto terms and amortize over enough time to save their business, restructure their debt, grow further, not only not go bankrupt,
Yeah.
but be able to
Thrive.
thrive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And 80% of the people who came out of it had that one thing in common. So, because I was 24 at the time,
Yeah.
24 years old, I knew my dad loved real estate. I knew everybody loved real estate. I knew real estate. I had already bought my first condo pre-construction
Yeah.
in Red Deer, Alberta. I still own the
I remember that story.
Good.
It was the only one that didn't go up in value or something.
It's the whole thing is still upside down. But it's been cash flow positive its
Hey,
entire existence.
Things are turning around in Alberta.
And the mortgage is almost paid off, my
Yeah,
friend.
Yeah. Good.
So,
good.
so even the worst
Yeah.
real estate purchase of all time
Yeah.
turns out to have a happy ever
Yeah,
after.
yeah. Well, that's what I love about real estate. Time will erase your mistakes.
And that's just, so even when you make a mistake, there's typically a way out in real estate.
Yeah.
And that's when what got my attention by working for the finance industry is how heavily reliant not only the finance industry is, but the entire world relies on real estate and its butterfly effect and its ripple effect,
Yeah.
meaning that if you build, you employ God knows how many, when you
Yeah.
sell, you deploy how many, and all the other things. And that it was a natural fit for me
Yeah.
to go into real estate.
Wow. And it's 15 years later, here we are. Look at this beautiful set, cameras, sound engineers, lights, mics. You know, like
Action, baby.
action. That's good. I'm glad my audience is getting to know you. That's good.
And I'm glad, I'm honored to have you here.
Yeah.
Whenever, are we ready to go?
Yeah.
We're rolling
We're,
all the way.
we're rolling. Well, so I don't know if you want to intro it or yeah.
Well, it really doesn't matter. So I'm sitting here with Alfonso Quadra. Alfonso is a veteran real estate investor, is an educator, is a philanthropist, is a real human being with a very, very real story, and which many things we have in common. Upbringings, situations and circumstances, there's been a many. And I think it's very important that what I want to get out of this time together today is literally how people can learn to leverage real estate and create stability, prosperity, long-term wealth, and legacy.
Yeah.
So not only can you eat from your real estate today, generations can eat forever.
Your kids, your grandkids, your great-great-grandkids.
And all the people that will be with him that we'll never get to meet. But everybody can win.
Yeah.
How did you get started in real estate? I want the Investors Playbook audience, the Brokers Playbook audience, and all of the Alfonso Quadra
Yeah.
and Wealth Genius audience.
Yeah.
Let's take it from the top.
Well, like it's funny because I think I was always industrious. When I was 12 years old, I got a paper route, and that paper route paid $400 a month. Now that was 12. I'm 45 now, so with inflation, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It was an entire building, and I had this entire paper route. Here was the problem with the paper route. After school, and Saturday and Sunday mornings, and as you know, that's the best cartoon watching time.
Of all time.
So I was trying to figure it out because, you know, my mom could never afford for me to have like Michael Jordan shoes, and, you know, so I needed to have this job, but the time, the commitment, I couldn't do. So what I did was I hired one of my friends. His name was Johnny. I said, hey, I got a job for you. After schools, Saturday and Sunday mornings, $200 a month. And so that was my first lesson in
arbitrage.
Well, in understanding the value of time, right? And so that later, and I ended up getting a second paper route, and now I had a whole operation. I had two employees. Yeah, I had two employees, and so that was kind of my beginning. Later on, I went through some dark parts of my life. When I was 15, I dropped out of high school. I left home. I was living on the streets. And what changed everything for me was becoming a father. At 17, I became a father for the very first time. We're not encouraging people to become fathers, but you know, at that young of age.
At that age.
Yeah.
But do become a father, because it will be the best thing you've ever done.
Oh, for
hands
sure.
down.
And for me, it was the kick in the behind that I needed in order to find purpose, to kind of have like a way of moving forward, not blaming the rest of the world for my problems, but taking responsibility over my life. I started a business at 17 as a result of being a father and realizing that, you know what, I got to do something. It was a clothing store. Now, when I opened the clothing store, I was 19, but when I was 17, I started selling t-shirts and jeans and mixtapes for my locker that later turned into a physical location. By the time I'm 21, I have locations all across Canada, and I'm like this serial entrepreneur, you know, making all this money, literally $1 million in my bank account at 21 years old. Now, knowing and understanding where we came from, you know, I had no financial literacy. And what would you do at 21 with all this kind of money?
Well, I can answer the question
Well,
truthfully or
well, we can leave it up to the imaginations of the viewers. But basically, I mismanaged the money, and I found myself at 24 almost in bankruptcy. And well, a few reasons. Number one, I didn't put away any money. I spent it all. Money made was
money burned.
out. Yeah, money burned. Now, this is the equivalent of someone winning the lottery, or an artist, or a basketball player, or a hockey player. You know, they figure out how to do something, figure out how to make money, because that's the easiest thing to do, is make money. For me, it was a matter of, okay, you know, the economy had turned shortly after 9/11. People's buying habits changed, the internet, all this competition, and now I was inexperienced and unequipped to handle like a downturn, and it really almost took me under. So now, 21 years old, $1 million in the bank account. 24 years old, negative $1 million, right? And I remember at one point I came out of one of my stores, and there's this guy asking me for change, and I'm like, geez, this guy's worth more than I am.
Factually.
Yeah, he's got nothing. I'm negative $1 million. And so I started to educate myself, reading books, reading about wealthy people. I identified there was a problem, right? And I'm like, how did I end up in this position where I'm almost going bankrupt, where like it seemed when I was 21, everything was kind of in expansion mode. And so I realized
We'll stop for 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so I realized, for one thing, remember that's where your brain was. And take a sip of water.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you one quick note. Don't cover this side. I'll tell you two things that are happening right now. Okay? We'll pick up exactly where you were in the story. What's happening is when you're bringing your hand like this, first off, you're kind of blocking the camera. Not a big deal.
Okay.
When you're doing that, I'm hearing like a tunnel effect in your microphone.
Okay.
It's like becoming like so if you could just swap to this hand.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Here?
Yeah. So like, you know when you're doing your countdowns and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So the one thing I did, the second thing I did,
Okay, so this hand.
if possible.
Okay.
I'm gonna get you some more water. Can I freshen you up?
Yeah.
I forgot where I was now.
I can play it back. if
No,
you want
it's
to.
okay. It's okay.
But I'll cut around it, don't worry.
We'll cut it around.
No, we were actually talking about the homeless man outside.
Yes, I can, yeah.
and we're $1 million down, and you started reading books in it.
Yeah, so we'll start off where we left off. Is it rolling still?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold my water, thanks.
Okay, I'll put it back because it's.
Yep.
So my only reason for telling you to drink your water, okay, so those are tough to cut around.
All right, okay.
Because they're like in between the sentence and stuff. Okay, so we're actually still rolling.
Okay, perfect. So,
You're reading
Um,
books.
No, I'll count you guys in, okay?
okay.
All right. So you were looking at Simeon. I think your hands were something like this.
Good. We're good.
Ready to go in 3, 2.
So I remember being in one of my stores, and I was coming out of one of my stores, and this guy is asking me for change, and then I realized, like, geez, this guy's worth more than I am. He's got nothing. I'm negative $1 million. And so I realized there's something wrong. I started reading books. I started to educate myself, and I realized a few things. Number one, I only had one source of income, right? Number two, I was a consumer, and of course, it's normal. At 21 years old, this is the only way you see success. It's like, oh, you have to buy all the latest things and the cars.
You start remembering conversations with your parents when other kids were at Sears or the Bay, and you had to go to Zellers or wherever the case may be to get the knockoff No Fear shirt.
Well, the
If
thing
you remember No Fear, if you remember.
Well, I had the knockoff Converse.
All sorts.
It was like tracks.
We moved together in 1994, 1985.
Yeah.
All the kids wearing starter jackets, Chicago Bulls, all the things.
Yeah.
Not in my household, my friend.
Well, the thing is, like, you want these things because we do live on an economic planet, and the economic planet is moved by consumerism.
Well, North America specifically.
Yeah.
North America specifically is definitely the culprit or the mecca of capitalism. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it can corrupt. It can corrupt a young mind, one that doesn't have the foundation or financial literacy, like yours, like mine, which I was able to get. I was 2 years ahead. I got fixed at 23, 22, 23. But up until then, what do you think I did? Same old thing. Because it takes time to see that. Accountability is what actually fixes it. The minute that you stop pointing the finger and you realize there's 3 pointing back at you. That is by far the biggest aha moment for any problem to get fixed within.
Well, now, like, my company was in the hole. I realized, number one, I'm a consumer. Number one, I had only one source of income. And what I actually noticed was that amongst all the wealthiest people, they all had real estate. Maybe they were, they had different companies selling different products, but the mixture of business and real estate is actually what gives an unfair advantage to the 4% than everyone else. And so I said, I gotta get real estate, right? That solves many problems. Number one, I can make money and store the wealth. Number two, I have a secondary source of income. And what I wanted to do in my 20s is create a source that was indestructible, because the economy kind of took me down, but I said I would never ever be in a position where I'm going to put my family through this ever again. And so what I did was I went right into apartment buildings, multifamily. And to me that kind of made sense because.
So how did you identify that as first as an option? And how did you get yourself in?
So when I was reading all these books about all these wealthy people, no one ever bragged about the duplex or the triplex. These were all pretty big, large portfolios that they had. And so I said, I want that. Now it made sense. As a business person, if you only had one customer, like buying that single, and you buy it, that means you're subject to that one customer. Imagine having a business with only one customer. Imagine having a brokerage with only one customer. And so to me, like, economy of scale, the idea that I can have multiple people paying me rent, and then I can leverage as much as possible. But here's the third one. It was easier for me to get a mortgage commercially,
of course,
than as an individual, because I was self-employed,
because you could use the merit of the property versus only the power being on you. The power to mitigate risk, hedge against future capital improvements and problems is something not a lot of people understand.
Mhm.
And what I do want to make very and super clear to what you were saying, multifamily specifically, if you have a single use building, meaning if I were to build a building just to house McDonald's,
Mhm.
and the building had to have 2 arches,
Yeah,
that's a single use building.
yeah,
If McDonald's fails, in order for me to put in Wendy's, I have to bust down McDonald's to build the W.
Mhm.
Not smart.
Yeah,
It's just not smart.
yeah.
It's great to attract McDonald's, but it's not smart to invest in single use, especially when starting, and especially when you don't know the nuances. Now, having 12 people under one roof versus one person,
Makes sense.
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
From
And-
defaulting, from repair, now there's 12 people contributing into the boiler room,
Yeah,
not one.
yeah,
The repairs become easier.
yeah.
Give me some more benefits of multifamily.
Well, one roof versus many roofs. The other thing is, and to me, this is the biggest one. People will always have to live somewhere. A big part of my fashion business at the beginning was that you always had to be up to date. You know, then you had the internet, and then you had to compete with these people. And so, you know, it almost took me out. And you always have to be so up to date that someone could, with a better product, could take you out.
So you saw this as a more stable, timeless
Yes,
affair.
yeah.
So I can invest in this and I can maintain this forever without a trend taking me out.
Now, at the beginning, I was doing my business. I was still running my company, and I was doing both. Like, you know, I would work 9 to 9 in my business, 7 days a week, and then I would work 9 to 1 a.m. on my empire, which was the real estate. And then when I was 30 years old, by the time I got to 30 years old, I was able to sell my first business, and then I was financially free. And I was like, wow. The reason I'm financially
you were able to save your clothing business,
Yes.
get it back up to par, and sell it profitably.
Now I had to change the mindset, right? I went from a consumer mindset to an investor mindset, meaning I sold everything. You remember the spinning rims?
Of course, the spinners, bro. Who doesn't remember spinners?
$20,000 to do this. So I had Cadillac Escalade, Mercedes Benz.
I was gonna say, where's the Yukon Denali at?
I had the Beamer, you know, and I sold everything, and I sold my house, everything. I reconsolidated everything. I had a Dodge Neon, and then I moved into a triplex, right? One of the units. So I reduced my cost of living, my cost of living by a lot, and then everything that I made, I pushed it to the real estate.
Again, little sweet nuggets. So, upon defeating consumerism inside your own mind and cleaning yourself up of nonsense expenses that'll drag you down no matter what.
You become a slave to it.
No matter what. So whether you're up here or down here, to have an extra X going to nothing is just silly.
Yeah.
When you're 21 and your goal is to impress a girl or your friends, it's just a mindset you need to get over as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with trying to meet your next partner by you know, the bird shows the colors and the man flexes muscles.
But your partner should be impressed about your net worth.
But it's only at a specific age that the human mind can mature enough.
Yeah.
And I just think that's a testament to maturity.
Yeah.
Some of us get it a bit earlier, some of us a bit later, some of us have to be, for lack of a better word, bitch slapped by life to wake up, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
But you chose real estate, you chose to work to buy a triplex where 2 other people are also paying the mortgage down. So these are the nuggets. So if you're 24 years old and you want to buy your first house, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but buying $1.5 million in Oakville may not be the wisest move, as opposed to buying a triplex for 1.7 in the said city, or any city for that matter. Live a reasonable, happy existence with literally getting paid to live there, as opposed to paying into a $5,000 a month hole.
Yeah.
So even your house can be deconsumerized.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
depending on what value you put on the future you,
Yeah.
so if you want to ever wonder, just ask yourself, what would 40-year-old Simeon have to say about 25-year-old Simeon? Try to reverse it.
Yeah.
Don't look back at your mistakes. Look forward to your successes.
Yeah.
And I think that's an easy way to make some good decisions.
Well, the reason I live the life I live today is because of decisions I made when I was 20,
That's right.
right? And then all those decisions, I found myself now being financially free at 30 years old. And between 17 to 29, I worked my behind off. I was, every day, 9 to 9, working, open, close, multiple locations, investing in my future. And so I would take these vacations, 1 week vacations. Have you ever been there, Dominican Republic, 4 square meals a day?
All day, every day.
You're like, on the Sunday, you're like, oh, I gotta go back to my life, And then, and then people would say, why don't you have a life that you don't need a vacation from? You probably heard that, So I used to fantasize about me just spending this life being financially free and just living the rest of my days on the beach. And so that day came. I'm financially free. I sold my company. I got all of my real estate. It can pay me and pay for my next generation. And I took a vacation for 2 weeks. Dominican. Beautiful resort. 2 weeks now. The first week was exactly like every other vacation I've ever taken in my life. The second week was horrible.
You just want to go home.
I wanted to gnaw off my arm. I was so bored. And I said, this can't be it. And so at 30 years old, and I'm 45 now, I made a decision that I was going to spend the rest of my life helping people achieve financial freedom. Because they all have the same fantasy, and they all believe that once you get your time back, you would do all of these things, but really what you want is life fulfillment. And that's what I really wanted. I didn't know, and I chose to now give back, be in a position of service for these past 15 years.
I absolutely love that, because I get asked all the time, how is it that you work this much? Like I work, I really like working.
Yeah. Me too, I love it.
So maybe it's the wrong word. I like growing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like working.
Yeah.
Forget work.
Yeah.
But in order to grow, you need to do things.
100%.
Like do things, like
Yeah.
actually get up and do things, speak to people. You can call it work, it's
Yeah,
simple,
yeah.
It's work.
Yeah.
I like to do things.
Yeah.
And people ask me, what's your end game? Because we asked you 10 years ago, we asked you 5 years ago, we asked you 2 years ago, and there is no end game. Success, they're like, what is success to you? It's fulfillment.
Yeah. That's it.
So just like what's define the line between greed and growth and this and that? I have no greed. Zero. I don't want something that doesn't belong to me, or more for something for the sake of more.
Yeah.
I like to grow businesses.
Yeah.
I like to see ideas become reality.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like. I like to see people win along the way.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't hate on people.
Yeah.
I find that to be the worst quality on this planet Earth, is when people haven't had their aha moment yet. A hater is nothing but a guy pointing a finger with 3 pointing back at him.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did I do to you to hate me?
Yeah.
Did nothing to you.
Yeah.
All I've ever done is help people.
Yeah.
And as a result of always helping people, people help me.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah. Well, the consumer.
I literally do nothing by myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am with you right now. You are helping me right now, because you're going to say one thing today. Don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it's already been said. But it's gonna go.
The consumer mind is a lacking mindset, right? It's like, when people line up at the store to buy a TV in the middle of the night, right? Right? It's like, I gotta get the next thing, right? And that mindset gets everyone confused, thinking that the only way to achieve success is that someone has to go without. And so when they see someone that's successful, they hate, right? And that hate fuels me. It's like, you know what? You hate me, but you know what? I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna show the world what
And
I'm here to
you,
do.
and
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
because you eventually will thank me.
Yes.
And that's a driver, and that's completely true.
I have this meme that says, looking for new haters because my old haters are starting to ask for a job. You know what I mean?
But it's true.
Yeah.
It is true. It's factually true.
Yeah.
The first they dismiss, then they hate, then there's many memes, different ones for it, but they all stand to be true. First they don't believe you, then they question you, or whatever the case may be. Alfonso, let's go down the path. Right now, you're at the helm of another venture.
Yeah.
Wealth Genius.
Yeah.
Just tell me a little bit about it. I know my operations, my director of operations, Bobby, he had a call with you a few weeks ago. There's going to be definitely some synergies there.
Absolutely.
I actually still don't have a fundamental understanding because I just haven't had a moment to talk to you.
Yeah.
Tell me right here live, what is Wealth Genius stand for? What is it you want to do with it? Where is it going?
Well, this idea that we all are living in our genius, right? And Wealth Genius, it's just like two words that really go well together. Now, it's an educational platform. There's lots of educational platforms. I mean, there's lots of places where people can start and get educated on how to invest in real estate. What I noticed that was missing from the marketplace was a network or community where people could be more advanced and have these more advanced conversations. So my specialty is multifamily, right? And I'm buying apartment buildings. That's not where everyone wants to start. Now, once you've done your couple of duplexes or triplexes, you might want to be in a position where you want to level up. It might be a 4-plex, it might be a 5-plex, it might be a 10-plex, it might be a 15-unit, 20-unit. And so that's the education that I'm focused on, more advanced education.
And what does that education exactly mean? So because I teach brokers how to transition from a single income, meaning residential real estate, to be able to analyze real estate and provide investor services to their clients.
That's exactly what it is. Like learning how to underwrite, learning how to identify a deal.
Stop. What does underwrite mean? Because this is going to both Brokers Playbook and Investors Playbook, and we may have people that have not started their journey yet.
Yeah.
So there's levels of education in real estate.
Yeah.
There's many places to go to get your ABCs, to get you to 1, 2, 3, 4 properties.
Yeah.
Once you reach that level is typically when people seek where you're at.
Yeah.
So now I would like the audience to start self-qualifying.
Yeah.
Because there's not really a point in going to something that you don't understand.
Yeah.
So you need to start somewhere. When we get into your world, they're going to learn how to underwrite.
Yeah.
Underwrite means what?
Analyzing, making sense of the numbers, right? So there's certain numbers that are going to be presented.
There's a 10-plex.
Yeah.
It's they're asking $1 million. What do you need to look at to substantiate how much you pick this as an for?
First thing first.
Stop for 1 second before you keep going.
This was the meaty stuff.
This is so good. Unfortunately, Sony's have a small problem. They only have a 30-minute clip limit.
Okay,
so let me
okay.
cut now, and then I'll re-engage right after.
Okay.
But we're gonna start.
Underwrite.
No, I asked you. It's $1 million. Tell me how you value it.
Okay.
Sorry about that, folks.
This is the meaty stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And we're gonna get it all. Ready to go in 3. Looking at him.
Okay, go.
Property. It's a 10-plex. It's priced for $1 million. How do you determine what to pay for it, what it's worth, if this building is a good opportunity?
So, first of all, when properties are listed, you have someone like a seller that's going to they're going to ask their family, hey, do you know any realtors? They're like, yeah, I know Johnny. He's a great realtor. He sold my house last week. And so
my uncle's cousin's kid.
Yeah, and this is why what you're doing is really incredible because you're also educating the brokers.
We're elevating the game.
Yeah,
we have to.
Now, when I look at a property, the numbers don't make sense because they're like, here's the income, here's the expenses, and this is your cash flow. No, that's not how it works because there's vacancy, there's repairs and maintenance, you have capital expenditures, you have property management, all these things that are never in a pro forma. Nothing wrong with that, but the underwriting means we have a formula. This formula is what I teach my students, and how to take our formula and make sense of the numbers that are provided to you. how to understand cap rates, how to understand the 1% rule, how to understand capital expenditures, reserves, all these things. When you buying an apartment building, you need to understand the numbers. It's very different than buying a single family home where the valuation is based on how people are feeling, what's happening in the market. When you're buying $1 million 10-plex, you're buying a business, a mini business. So you're gonna look at the numbers that have been presented to you. Now you have to make sense of these numbers. That's called underwriting.
Only because I'm a commercial broker by trade.
Mhm.
So although I run a team of 50 residential agents and 12 commercial agents, I myself am a commercial broker, and I underwrite every single day of my life. I have to evaluate properties with no comparables. I have to evaluate properties that have never been sold before, or nothing in the market like that has sold before. And I'm gonna give some examples directly to the audience of the complexities that can arise. And the reason people will pay for education or seek the power of a star network of people who have done it before. When I say build your power team, in many of these episodes that we do all the time, there's nothing more valuable, because unless somebody has the experience, which I'm going to speak to right now, this is real life. You'll make mistakes that you may not be able to recover from, not in 100 years. And the reason is because you're going to lose the property far before that.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about commercial real estate, because multiplex is very commercial real estate, it's a business. And we talk about a 10-plex for $1 million. We need to take into consideration not only the physical property, its surroundings, its zoning, the official plan of the city, what is planned for the said neighborhood.
Yeah.
Was there a factory that housed batteries for 40 years that closed 10 years ago and is now a park? That may look like a natural park to you, but that might be a marked brownfield that's just waiting to be detoxed and or treated over the next 50 years. Maybe there's a train station coming in the next 20 years that's going to go over your building. Maybe the use is going to change. Maybe the asphalt is at the end of life, and that $40,000 bill is going to throw the numbers off for a ride. Because
I'll give you an example on that. We're looking at a 100-unit apartment portfolio of 4 different properties. We walk the property. I'm looking at the stucco, and the stucco's peeling here, peeling there. We get a quote on fixing the stucco. Can't be fixed. It has to be replaced. $400,000 a building. That would take someone out.
that's not the deal you signed up for.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, it's okay, but it sounds like 1.2 million needs to come off the purchase price.
Exactly.
And then we can look at the deal again.
Yeah.
We haven't even looked at anything else yet.
Yeah.
So if those 100 doors, even at 100,000 a door, if we were talking about 10 million bucks,
Yeah.
we're already down 1.2.
Yeah.
You haven't even scratched underwriting yet.
Yeah.
How's the mechanical?
Yeah.
How's the roof? How are the doors? How's the electrical? Is there value add opportunity? Can I change your ancient lights and put LEDs? Can I
Yeah.
put aerators in the tops? What economies can I find? How do I boost
Storage, common areas,
all the
parking.
things?
Yeah.
All the things. So to the audience, if you're wondering what the next level of education in real estate is, this is what we're talking about. Because if you don't invest in yourself to find out about these strategies and how to win inside these strategies, the only thing you can do is make mistakes.
Yeah.
You need the time to learn. You need the right people to be beside you. You need to identify the winning brokers, the winning lawyers, the winning insurance adjusters, inspectors, the guys who can identify that the stucco cannot be fixed.
Yeah.
Because if you bring this up, oh, just patch it up over here.
Yeah. What's going to happen is, like, you're going to be spending probably about $50,000 to $60,000 a year in patching up. Eventually, you're going to be underperforming. You are not going to have the capital to invest back into the property. Water is going to get in there. It's going to
Insurance will cancel you.
Yeah, it's going to corrode the frame. Now you got structural issues.
You have a building envelope that's rotten.
Yeah.
anyways, I think that is a fantastic explanation of what you do. Tell me a little bit about how far you've taken your journey. Where are you at with your portfolio? And that's if you're comfortable in sharing.
Oh, no, well, I wanted to just quickly touch on what you just talked about in terms of the education. We have three tracks: multifamily, land development, and investing in the U.S. Right, and those tracks are, in my view, in my opinion, those are things that are overlooked because a lot of the education out there is kind of like where people are just trying to put a suite in their basement or
Income property.
Airbnb and all that, those types of strategies, which are really great strategies and a great place to start. But what happens after? Is there going to be a place where people want to go and hang out with the big boys, you know, and do larger transactions, more unique things that are going to actually be more generational, building that generational wealth?
I love that. Tell me a little bit about then, in very, very simple terms, what's your U.S. strategy? What markets are you looking at?
Okay, U.S. right now, we're looking Arizona, Tennessee, and we're looking at either Florida or Texas. But right now, it's maybe with the interest rates, there's going to be more opportunities. But those were two markets that, I was trying to get into, but it's very difficult. Tennessee seems to be the where the opportunity is.
Why is that? So how do
Tennessee is like your Saskatchewan.
How do you identify opportunity? Just on a high
Okay,
level.
so you see you want to check out migration. So where are people moving to, right? So people seem to be moving from these really expensive markets, and they're migrating into more affordable markets, like Tennessee. And so Tennessee happens to be one of those states. Number one is a red state. Landlord-tenant rules are more friendly, and you kind of want to be in a red state when it comes to investing in the U.S. Regardless of the politics. Okay,
the colors are the exact opposite down there. So blue state here is a red state there.
Yeah. So here you want to be in a blue
Alberta,
province.
Saskatchewan.
But so Tennessee, it's got the value add opportunities. People are migrating to that state because of the low cost of living, better quality of life. A lot of infrastructure is going there, and so those are some of the.
And that, so the overall demand for lower cost of living is going to obviously increase the value of the market as supply and demand readjust, and that's where you see the opportunity.
Well, Amazon's going there. You got FedEx. There's a lot of opportunity there, like especially around the Memphis area. It's a good market,
Well, that's fantastic. I'd love to visit it. Maybe next year we can try to schedule a tour with some of the stuff.
Let's do it.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. Let's touch a little bit about land development. Land development, are you doing that in Canada, in the U.S.? Are you agnostic to location as long as the deal makes sense?
Yeah,
What's your philosophy on land development?
Plain and simple, Canada has the biggest landmass in the world, lowest population density in the world. A really great immigration, open door policy in terms of the world. You got 850,000 Ukrainians coming here. You have a pledge of 450,000 new immigrants coming to Canada every single year for the next 25 years. The question is, where are all these people going to go? And so there is no space. I mean, we are living through a vacancy crisis right now. There's a housing crisis right now. And so I think some of the opportunities for the next 5 years are going to be in building and developing.
So I'm going to tell you that literally 30 seconds after we're done our shoot in our conversation, CBC News put out an article yesterday. And I've already been asked for comment on the said article, and I'm going to be shooting that comment. The article states that HOOPS, which is the Ontario Healthcare Pension Fund, one of the richest pension fund in this country anyways, Abacus Financial, another major house, put out that 5.8 million homes over the next 30 years need to be built to only balance.
So 5.8 million.
We're 5.8 million homes short. and that's a trajectory, and to put into perspective, we're delivering less than 30,000 homes in the GTA per year.
Wow.
We have not a problem, not a crisis. This is a housing disaster. We live in a country where everybody wants to be because of the stability, because of the peace, because of the opportunity to prosper. You came from El Salvador, my friend, and my parents came from Greece. Nobody's from here. We are here.
Yeah.
We are Canada.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
This is a country made for opportunity. And when we see 5.8 million homes needed, I don't care about the micro interest rates up, down, sideways over the next 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. If you as an investor, if you as a human being don't see that there is an opportunity the size of the sun right in front of you, you need to find your seat on that bus. And whether it's an income property, whether it's a multifamily, I think it's time for everyone to literally give their little heads a shake and see how they can get involved safely, securely, and with the right people.
The next 5 years, which is the camera? The next 5 years are going to be the 5 years where you can have the biggest wealth transfer in history. And the reason I say that is we have a lot of people exiting real estate right now. Baby boomers. Baby boomers were we're holding on to these portfolios for dear life. This concept of a housing crisis, and I think it's even a global housing crisis.
It is a global housing crisis.
And so like there's going to be a massive wealth transfer in the next 5 years. It's just incredible.
I want to end this on one note, and I want to end this on a personal note. Why should people listen to me and you? Why does this conversation do you feel matters?
I don't think they should listen, right? If we don't resonate with them, find the person that resonates with you, right? Now, at the end of the day, I always look to people that have the results that I'm looking for, right? And so I built a multi-million-dollar portfolio, close to about $200 million across Canada and in the US. If that's something that you're looking to do, that's why you should listen to us. If this is not exciting to you, when I talk about wealth transfer, the biggest wealth transfer in history, we're talking about all these stats. I mean, this turns me on. Like I get turned on when people when we talk about these types of numbers, you know.
So this is the thing. So my question was far more rhetorical.
Yeah.
And you hit the nail on the head. If you're ever curious on where the economy is going, all you ever have to do is look at what smarter money is doing. When I say smarter money, when I look at Hoops spending $5 million on studying the market as to how many homes are short, Hoops is only doing it for one reason and one reason only. Hoops is playing 15 or 20 years down the game. They don't need money today. They need money in 20 years to pay investors in 20 years. All the dollars that they make now are for 20 years down the line. That is what I call smart money. And if they're telling me 5.8 million homes are needed, I'm going to be investing in development, in construction, and in housing.
And the objective of the interest rates is to scare people, right? To cool down the market because people were not making smart decisions.
Consumerism.
Yeah.
Inflation is the consumer price index.
So right now what they're trying to do is get all the horses back in the barn. But real estate is not going anywhere. And in fact, back in April of 2020, so between the April of 2020 and August of 2020, we took the most action that we've ever taken in the history of our company. We bought millions and millions of dollars in real estate between that time, where everyone was like scared, watching Netflix, wearing jogging pants. We were out there taking massive action. All of that real estate doubled in price. People ask me, so when's the next crash coming? You missed it. You missed it back in April of 2020 when everyone was sleeping and scared. People are sleeping and scared right now. This is where you got to take more action.
We have it on tape, October 2020. My partner and I were on Brunch with REC. That's our flagship real estate company show. And Jazz goes, I want everybody to understand that right now, downtown Toronto is on sale. Since we've been born, it's not been on sale.
Yeah.
In our generation, the only thing downtown Toronto did is this.
Yeah.
And there was a little blip in the matrix there where you could shoot a cannon through King Street. Like,
Yeah.
people were locked in their homes.
Yeah. People,
Hey, running to the hills, real estate goes, it's like this, it goes right here.
yeah.
So there was a 15% sale.
Yeah.
A 15% sale on real estate is like 2 years pay for most people.
It was the best of times.
I don't want to say that we bought real estate or more real estate, but we did. I want to say that hundreds of our clients, were hiding, but they weren't because they bought real estate. And he was yelling it from the rafters, October, November, December, and then Jack Kennedy goes, well, the sale's over. And congrats to all the winners. You're all $250,000 richer.
Yes, yes.
And that is, not that we ever literally time the market, but when an opportunity that makes a bomb
Yeah.
get off the ground,
Yeah.
It's not normal because they're all moving back in 6 months, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is a short-lived problem. It's the landlords that can't support their properties.
Well, they talk about July 13th, right? Like it's like Judgment Day.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like it was the same Judgment Day back in April 1 of 2020 where we didn't know if people were going to pay their rent. But at the end of the day, if it's on the news, media is controlling consumers, and everyone's like, oh my God, 0.75 basis points. Let's not buy real estate right now. What's that going to do? Everyone is going to be scared. There's going to be portfolios that are going to change hands, and it's all going to happen in that short window of time. By the time the government realizes, oh, we went too far, we shouldn't have done that. Let's roll it back because now we're in a recession.
And that's when everybody comes back up.
Yeah.
The other thing is this, and this is to the naive consumer. And I don't blame you, I blame the system that never gave financial literacy. If you're gonna buy a home, and it was, let's just call it 1.2 in February at the apex, and right now it's worth 1.05 or 1.1, it's 100,000 less. Unless that person has to sell it, they haven't actualized any loss.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of 5-6 months that it's gonna go back up. To the buyer today that you buy for 1.1 million, if you think you saved something, you have another thing coming.
Mm-hmm.
Because the truth of the matter is that person bought it for 1.2 with money at 0.99.
Yeah.
You're buying it at 2.8. It's costing you more for the same house than it did. The money's always the same.
Yeah.
There's only so much money, which is why when you raise the interest rates and you put the horses back in the stable, you're resetting the economy.
Yeah.
You're bringing it under control.
It's a
but
positive.
don't think that you're saving. It is a positive. They have
Yeah,
to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you can't be spending your money on, lack of a better word, nonsense
Yeah.
and dumb purchases.
Here's what we were seeing, and people can't. I can answer it. Why is it that expenses and inflation is happening? Gas is doubled. Housing is doubled. Everything has doubled in price almost, but no one can find someone to work. Like that doesn't make any sense. Well, because everyone has been using their house as an ATM machine for the past 2 years. And they bought cottages, they refied and put a pool in, they refied and bought an RV. Like, honey, life is good, right? All those people are gonna now realize, like, whoa, wait a minute, we gotta pay for this stuff. And they're gonna now go out and try to find a second job, work at Burger King.
Do all the things.
Do all the things that they gotta do to make ends meet now. And the people that invested in the real estate, going back to what you were saying before, when the market is like this, you don't have to sell. I love multifamily because the only time you lose in real estate is when you sell. And you have the income coming in, you don't need to, you'll never be in a position where you have to sell if you bought it in the right way.
Mr. Quadra, I want to thank you so much for coming on to Brokers and Investors Playbook. Your insight is appreciated, it's valuable, and I know as a fact it's going to resonate with hundreds or thousands in our audience. I hope it does the same for yours. And I will see you ASAP.
We'll see you at the top, my friend.
At the top, my friend.
All right, guys. Thank
Cheers.
you. And my friends over here, that my battery died, so they didn't get to see the
Sorry.
ending.
Listen, you're a director, bro.
Hey,
we're not actors.
Can you dim the lights on those shows? They're like,
Oh, yes. That's probably what he actually wanted. Hey, it's probably what he actually wanted.
You dim the lights and then we cut.
So
the
looking
light.
at each other, just talking for a couple seconds. No audio, no talking.
We were joking, but this is actually what you're looking for, isn't it?
Don't fuck around, guy. That's what I wanted, man.
That's all right. Well, we are going to talk a little bit more. I want a regular segment. Why don't we do a regular segment?
Sure.
Once every 3 months.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Clock.
Let's do it. Let's
Are
do
you
it.
here
Cut.
typically once every 3
Yes.
months?
Yeah. We have students in the GTA area. I'm everywhere.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah. It's fun.
So I'm actually changing completely the format of what I've been doing.
Mhm.
Completely. It's no longer going to be episode 26 featuring Alfonso Quadra.
Mhm.
It's going to be literally multifamily content.
Yeah.
It's on an episode.
Yeah.
No more show.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't find
Yeah.
the need for it.
Yeah.
I think this should end up being like I want.
This what's happening in the market right now. Let's talk about how's it affecting the multifamily space.
Bang.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bang. Like latest content possible. So like for this, whether I don't know how we're gonna do this one specific because this is the very first time we've actually shot like this.
Nice.
Not at my desk about an episode 26. This could be 2 10-minute, 3 10-minute
Yeah.
pieces.
Yeah, because it's almost an hour of content.
Great.
Yeah.
So this could be like I don't care for it to be one specific episode. It doesn't need
Yeah.
to be.
Oh,
So
grab
I
the
think,
packets just on the
I
ground.
think simply where we need to go is to a format that gives the audience literally what they want and
Yeah.
go. Nobody should have to do 45 minutes of me jibber jabbering to get to the 10 minutes that they actually were looking for.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the improvement's going to come in.
So what we need then is a couple of different like cold intros or just straight up intros. Can we
Great.
do those right now?
Sure.
Just sit back for 2 seconds.
Okay.
Sure. So what intro do you want?
This one, I want you to do like looking at the camera, no looking away too much, just straight
Yeah.
up in the camera, okay? Make sure.
And I'm looking at.
You're not looking at anything.
I'm looking at
It's
you.
all just sit. No, don't block him now.
Okay.
It's all just
Can he
Simeon.
do one as well?
Yeah, for sure.
Because he might be able to do the exact same. So one intro is with me, one intro is with him, and he puts his on his stuff.
Sounds
And
good.
it's the exact same.
Sounds good.
Good.
Okay. So we're ready to go. So just looking straight in directly into the lens. Ready to go in 3.
Good afternoon to my broker and investor playbook family. This is Simeon Papailias, and today I have the absolute pleasure of sitting down with a good friend, a fellow investor, and a legend in the multifamily space, Alfonso Quadra. Alfonso will be talking about his personal upbringing, his story, and how exactly he got to be at the top of a $200 million empire of apartments. Stay tuned. I think you're going to like this.
Okay, number 1 done. Cold intro done. Now let's do. So we just came from an intro, and now it's kind of like, thanks for I don't know if you want to say like welcome back or something like that, but like just something where it's sort of like we know we just came from a package, and now we're coming to the conversation that you're having. Or actually, we could use the one that you gave us before.
Yeah, I think
That was pretty good, right?
I think
Okay, so we're done with that.
Good. So do one with Alfonso. Do one with just Alfonso speaking to his audience.
Yeah.
All right.
Because that's a nice gift to give anybody who comes in. So the same version with your cut.
Mhm.
The fucking blast it the fuck out.
All right.
Because it's like it's yours.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if anybody's still here. 1 hour. All right. I'm not sure if it was a full hour or we had to pause there, but we will see you guys at the top. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment down below, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified the next time we're doing a video. And guess what? Like, share, dislike, I don't care! Let me see how that looks.